Could be, but
just
you do
keeps
them just
getting
like
a
how
little
I do, like how I do when people throw rubbish on the wall.
Just keep picking it up.
We are technically live on my phone, just FYI.
Excellent, thank you. If you're just joining us online, thank you. We are live. We have not started yet. We are just figuring out our technical stuff.
Yeah,
But
sorry.
no worries. No worries.
I
No
see
hurry.
it. Good.
Once we are ready, I can go ahead and call us to order and we can get started.
Oh, we can start and just utilize my phone for now. So.
All right. Cool. We are going to call the meeting to order. It is 7:03 on Tuesday, January 7th, 2026. This is the Resident Committee or the Resident Contact Committee of Fern Acres Community Association and the Road Management Association. We'll first start with a roll call of the officers. Austin Martin, present.
Benjamin, Vice Chair, President.
Laila, Secretary, Present.
Excellent. Those are our executive officers. Moving forward to the call to order and procedures, section 1. We have a welcome and technical setup. If you guys would like to take a minute really quickly to, well, we kind of already had that. If it's okay and there's no objection, I'll just skip the camera setup and all of that. We gave ourselves some time. Thank you, Laila.
Yeah.
And we'll move on to the approval of the minutes from December 3rd, 2025. Are there any amendments or alterations that are requested by the members for the minutes? Hearing none, going once.
Suggestion last week. Is that what we're talking about?
Last meeting, the last
last meeting.
meeting's minutes.
The minutes or the rules?
The minutes.
Okay. Sorry, I misunderstood.
No worries. Hearing none, we will go ahead and go to the question. All those in favor of adopting the minutes from the previous meeting, December 3rd, 2025, please say aye and raise your hand.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. All right, moving on to the rules of order section. We have Austin Martin and Julia Mitchell to present a unified recommendation for Article VII, Parliamentary Authority. Before I open this and before it's moved and put up before everybody, it was brought to my attention that there was already a vote.
Yeah. So
Is this a point of order?
we have record on our minutes that we voted on October 4th of 2024 to have approval of Robert's Rules of Order and Protocol, and we were moving towards having any bylaws agreed to, and we put that on to figure out later. So we haven't agreed on any bylaws yet.
Excellent. And those were presented over the holiday, and everybody, I assume, has had time to review them. So on this, I would entertain a motion to affirm existing parliamentary authority in Robert's Rules and adopt the bylaws if we're ready, if one of you wants to move that.
I move if we've all had time to agree to the bylaws.
Second.
So is what you're saying just happened is because of this, which I don't remember voting on that.
Well,
We'll
we
open up
posted the
discussion.
meeting minutes to everybody, so everybody has access to the meeting minutes.
We can open up discussion. It's moved and seconded.
Wait. Can I talk?
Can you let us open up the thing, and then I can recognize you for discussion and give you the floor.
No, I don't. I vote no. I vote no.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second on this to, oh, you know what, just go ahead. Go ahead, it's no big deal.
Well, it clearly is a big deal. I vote no on the rules.
It's just,
Do you make a motion?
No, he has an opportunity to speak, and I'm trying to give you the opportunity to say what you want to
You
say.
have the floor.
Well, my main concern is that you guys are using these rules to shut people up.
How so?
The entire last meeting I was shut up by rules that didn't actually exist. I have contention with that.
Would you like to see the minutes?
I don't care. I don't care.
Well, you were
I
there at
don't
that
remember.
meeting.
I don't remember making the vote on Robert's Rules or even having a discussion of what Robert's Rules were.
We
And
talked
I
about it
certainly
a while ago.
don't
It's okay,
remember
he has the
being
Okay.
shut down and prevented from doing my job and verbalizing my progress to the committee with the rules, which was clearly done. So I am at the place where I'm going to say, no, my big contention with the rules is this is going to do exactly what the community hates. The They can't just come in and voice their opinions and talk about stuff. Because if somebody in power doesn't like what they're saying, they're going to shut them up with the rules. And we've got a bunch of people that they're not official. They don't care about Robert's rules. They don't care about the mainland or any of the rules that the white guy wants to bring in. And it just does exactly what most of the people say they have a problem with the main organization and politics of the group.
Thank you for your share.
Thank you. Yeah, the reason why I'm able to give you the floor like that and stop Laila or Benjamin from interrupting you are those same rules.
Austin, I don't want to hear it. You shut me down the whole last meeting. I don't want to hear it.
Okay, if you don't want to respond, that's
If
fine.
you want to express your authority to shut people down, we've already proven that you will and you can.
George, you spoke. I'm sorry to interrupt, but
You have the-
we
you
did give you
recognize.
the floor. You spoke for over 45 minutes at the
No.
last meeting.
That is so not true.
I was
Are you guys
interrupted
kidding right
multiple
now?
There's a recording, so
There's a recording.
I was interrupted multiple
45
times.
minutes.
Well, you just had your time now, and now we're gonna talk to Misty. Go ahead, Misty.
So my issue is that we operated, I think, fairly successfully for at least 6 months, and it wasn't this contentious.
Mm-hmm.
So something has changed in our group. We're not being productive, and we're weaponizing these Robert's rules. So that's why I would say.
Can you make a
no.
motion, a suggestion?
So
But where do we go with that comment? You know, what do you want to do?
There's already a motion on the table that we're speaking to. So.
yeah, so I guess my vote would be no, because we're a group of community members trying to make our community better. This isn't Parliament. We don't even have, like, we could vote all day long and nothing, like, we could vote to change the name of Fern Acres and it ain't gonna do a dang thing. Like, we're here to make our community better, not to infight and not to do this, because
Then what's
we
your
want more
suggestion?
involvement.
But
That it needs to be a bit more, I don't even know what the word would
Less
be, like,
restrictive.
less restrictive, more community focused,
Yes,
and
you-
more
rules.
friend, like, we're here to try to work together. We're not like me working against you, or, you know, we're trying to work together, and I don't feel that anymore. At all.
Mr. Roy, you have the floor.
Yeah, originally, this committee was created to give a voice of the people for everything. But then it was changed to just be for the roads. You know, so the reason why I pushed to create this committee is because the people needed to be heard. The people should be heard. They should have one voice in everything that goes on, but then the committee turned into just the roads. You know, so it defeats the purpose of allowing the residents to have a voice if it only has to do with the roads. So the whole direction of this committee changed based on, I guess, the executive or the heads of the committee.
Ben?
So the goal of this is exactly about to, like we talked about, increase the communication between the community and the road committee and the board. So there's the road committee, which is a big portion of why we're all here, and was developed over the implementation of like speed bumps that weren't given to the people to vote. So that's what really started this group, was to have the people do what the bylaws say and get a right to vote. And they're supposed to be able to vote over those speed bumps. So what we're here trying to do is collect your information, and we're not against anybody here. We're here letting everybody speak. So we're here to let you speak, and the fact that we're up here is just that we were the ones who started the voting and got voted to start it. So anybody else is here to share their information, and we're here to listen. So I don't understand where any combativeness is coming from, but I don't think it's fully understood what Robert's Rules offers. It's a fact of trying to communicate better, which is our seeming to be huge conflict. We aren't able to communicate. What Roberts offers is a chance to have a controlled ability to let people speak. And everybody had their time to speak at the last meeting. And we even offered a 3-minute limit because we have to make the meeting happen in 1 hour.
And
So, and we even waived that multiple times. So the fact of not being able to speak or feeling combative, that's all we're doing is agreeing and letting you speak your mind. If you have better suggestions, that's what we're here to take. And we're not controlling anything. We're supposed to be here working together.
Yep. Mr. Roy, you have something else you want to say?
Yeah, as far as the meetings, why is it just restricted to 1 hour?
Yeah.
We all got lives, man.
No, I mean, I understand that, but when you gotta make important decisions that has to do with the entire community, sometimes it'll take longer.
I'm not sure who
So
restricted
it's
it to an hour. Is there a rule?
I guess
It's
there
the
is-
ideal goal.
Yeah,
It's
I
not
mean, the
restricted.
ideal-
We've gone over and we've gone under.
Yeah, I like to always take as much time as it takes. I
Okay,
don't.
so I understand that, but having to cram a whole lot of decisions in 1 hour is difficult.
I don't think we've had any problems doing that. I also don't think we've had any problems shutting people down with the rules because we haven't even officially like applied the rules to anybody.
Because basically, I still have to follow, according to.
I'm sorry,
You're,
George. I'm really sorry you feel that way.
According to Robert's rule, I
I'm just
still have to
thinking,
follow.
I was one of the first people to vote for something like this when there was that issue with the road. There were over 100 people here,
Yeah.
all angry because
Yeah.
they didn't know what was happening. So I think it was Taikuli. Wasn't he the one
He
that said that?
suggested it.
Yeah, he said, why don't we have a
7
resident?
people.
Exactly.
together
Wasn't
and
about
create a
the
community.
road thing, it was about communication, because I can tell you for a fact
Mhm.
that out of those 100 some odd people, half of them don't want to be on Facebook. That's why that board is out there. That's why that board is out there, was to communicate with those
Sure.
people that don't want to be on Facebook.
Just to clarify, we're a volunteer group. We don't
I
have.
understand that.
We don't.
I
We're
understand
not.
that.
We're
You
not.
don't even have to be here doing rules. It's supposed to be a Ohana coffee hour to
Yeah.
discuss things for the community. No rules, no regimen.
No,
Okay,
yeah,
what are we going to
that's,
talk about
that's
today?
great, and we can do coffee hour, right? But if we have to make a decision like, let's send a letter to the board, there emerges instant questions like, who writes it? What do we say? What do we agree on? And so we use voting in order to express the will of what most people want to do. In order to do that, you have to have basic rules that let people be heard, have an opportunity to speak.
I'm done.
Oh, okay.
So I guess letting people speak with the rules is bullshit to a lot of the people here. I haven't seen a lot of you guys before. I know some of you are with the road committee. I'm not sure what the tension is, but I think I'm going to move us along.
Well,
Roy, do you want to say something else?
Yeah, I mean, the problem is not Robert's rule of order. The problem is what I originally stated. It started off as, like 7 people supposed to be on this committee that supposed to be about relaying the voice of the residents to the board. But it changed from
Truth is, there's $84,000 that's unaccounted for. We're asking about it, and it's pissing people off. So I'm not surprised to see a bunch of people here mad that there are rules.
So
What a
you're
surprise.
You're breaking your own.
We're going to move on.
See,
that's
you
what
could
I'm
have
talking
this is
about.
exactly why my vote is no.
Any further discussion?
Yeah.
I didn't even get to finish
I
what
don't-
was saying.
I don't
but-
Oh, then
You're-
please go ahead.
I
Go
don't
ahead.
think you're equipped to be head chair.
You've
There's
spoken
like-
3
You're
times.
horrible.
You've spoken 3 times.
In turn,
I've recognized you, but I'm saying we can move along.
but 2 out of the 3 times I got interrupted by.
And I stopped them.
No, you're not. You
Yeah, I did.
just interrupt me and let's move on.
Well,
You know what I mean?
I'm
That's
just
the
saying
problem.
that this is not germane to the discussion. We're talking about the parliamentary procedure, and you're talking about like focusing on the roads. And I understand where you're coming from, so I've allowed it. But everybody has a chance to talk once. I'm allowing public comment for people who are not sitting on this board to tell us what you think about it, and that is absolutely fine.
But I wasn't even done with my statement.
Then go ahead. I'm sorry. Please continue.
Okay, so a concern that I have is if you guys are supposed to be the voice of the people, why isn't the people able to vote on any decisions that you guys make?
Well, I mean, are you
Since when is
asking?
that?
I could ask the board the same question. Like, if the board is supposed to represent all the, it's because direct democracy doesn't work. If you try to get everybody to vote on every little decision, that's not going to work unless you put it in an annual meeting style where everything's on a menu.
That's why the bylaws state that voting is counted based on who shows up to the meeting.
No, voting is based on a quorum count, which is based on your notice. But that's okay, and that's not what we're here to discuss this evening. So,
And then right now, the board only allows you to vote on road topics that make drastic changes, like speed bumps, which we didn't get to vote for. FACA tells us we're not allowed to vote for anything else unless we pay our road fees plus a $35 extra. So if it's the rules you don't like, it's the board that's implying those rules that we follow fine. So we're trying to just mimic what we already have to follow, so we don't have to learn a whole other style of rules and know the difference between the two. We're supposed to be able to work with our board, and following their standards seems like the most logical choice, because it seems to be hard enough that this board was created to talk with our board. So we're just here trying to talk with our board, and it's already hard enough to get the people together to talk. So we're feeling pretty attacked. I'm feeling pretty attacked right now, and there's nothing to say that I'm forcing you guys to do anything. We're trying to find something to agree on, and we would like to come to a calm conversation about it. So you would disagree, offer another solution. There's one
We
vote
have.
agree. What is it?
Us getting together as a community and having conversation like real people.
That
We're not
usually turns
freaking
into arguments and
England
fights,
in
and Robert's
Parliament.
supposed to help that not happen.
But
Okay,
see,
so-
I was
so,
just talking and
hold
you
on.
talked over me. I don't know what you
hold
said.
on.
Sorry.
Technically, that it was out of order. The reason why this matters, the basic reason why I care about the rules, is making sure that everybody has a fair chance to speak. Right? I'm sorry, George, that you feel like you got shut down, but I think the reason we didn't vote on your rules was because nobody got to read them until you pulled them out and passed them out to us.
You didn't bring
Not,
in the people.
not because we didn't, not because like we used the rules against you. But again, if I'm wrong about that, feel free to raise a point of order. I'll rule on it. Julia, you are recognized, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you. So over email conversation, there was between this group about Robert's rules, and I had suggested alternatives. One being canons, other being a hybrid. We do need guidelines. We do need policies for a committee. That is needed, right? So there's order. However, my feeling is we don't need the formality. We are a subcommittee of a committee. And this committee is supposed to be about our community and making, telling where there's potholes, doing the cleanup, having potlucks,
Financial transparency.
that can be a part of it as well. And I just feel that there does not have to be this formality. We can do a hybrid, we can create our own rules. And then people wouldn't feel so bound by these rules and, speaking in ways that they don't know how to speak, or learning a 700-page, Sorry, I have a sore tooth, so I'm not talking very well tonight. But, so people we should be like an ohana, right? We are an ohana, and we should be treating each other that way. But we do need to have guidelines, and we do need to have policies in place so that there isn't any tension or infighting or whatever you want to call it. So.
I agree.
I also agree, and that's kind of the whole. This group did start in a kind of from a contention. It was the potholes, the speed bumps, which people are really worried about speeding here in our community and our community being safe. Our kids and Kiki on the roads and Kun on the roads.
I'm number one.
And so I know. So I think we are all here for the same reason. And as we have been, going to board meetings and trying to get more people together, actual residents together on Facebook and things, there has been other things coming to light, which, the main skin that everyone has here is we're all paying mandatory road fees. It's not, and that's something that we want to make sure is being utilized to the best of that we can. And so I think everyone wants that, and so it's like, how do we work together to make that happen? Right. Okay.
Is there anyone else, before I call on anyone who's already been called on, is there anybody who hasn't spoken that would like to offer some discussion to this? All right, I'm gonna go to George, and then I'm gonna go to Ben.
I just have a clarification. You guys were talking about voting, and then Ben went on about going to the board, and then back to us, and the board, and back to us, and the board. I'm just trying to clarify what was just stated. So the board, so if I understood what the conversation that we're having here right now is that the board only allows certain people to vote, therefore we are adopting the same principle that we only allow certain people to vote?
No, I can explain this to you. First of all, the board is supposed to give every one of us a vote when it comes to big changes like the speed bumps.
So the conversation that was happening was about
The board's
board
responsibility, right? For us,
Okay,
only
okay.
the people that are elected to lead the committee or on the committee should be voting, right?
on the main board. Or
So our job is to listen, to communicate, and to relay those communications, right? The board's job is to administer votes for road management changes like adding shoulders or speed bumps, anything that would affect the property, especially anything that they have to get like state interaction for changes. They have to give everybody a vote, put that on the agenda, give everybody notice, and make sure that even if you're not a member, if you're a lot owner, they still have to let you know and let you vote on it according to the bylaws
You
and the
keep
law.
saying committee vote. Are you talking about us?
But we are. When I say committee, that's usually means resident contact committee, and board. I'm usually
So
referring
you're
to the
saying,
board.
and this is why I've been trying to clarify this, so you're saying only the committee members' votes matter?
On this committee, yeah. I mean, we listen to the
That's right.
community, but like, if anybody can come in and vote, then it's not really a group.
What are you talking about? We were voted in by the community.
Yeah, some of us were.
We were voted into the positions that we're in
Right.
by the community.
Right.
Why would the community's vote not matter?
Well, it wasn't just
That's
by the
never been that way.
because this is part of the reason for the need for rules. Like, let me help you.
To make sure that
Do you understand the problem with direct democracy? Like, we have the same problem with the board. We can't have an annual meeting where we notice everybody in the neighborhood to show up every time we want to have a conversation, right?
it's not about gathering every vote. Is what you're talking about is excluding the members of the community that show up.
What do you mean excluding? Like, no, they have every right to participate. That doesn't mean they have a right to make decisions on the committee they weren't voted onto. You don't get to show up in Congress and vote on bills that you're not a
We're
you're not a
Congress.
congressman,
We're
right?
not Congress.
A committee is like that.
We were voted in by the community. The community's vote.
committee-
Well, that's like my whole.
Right.
So to make it fair, nobody was recorded voting for me or you or anybody. It was the people in this room who said, we're here, do we vote somebody's going to take this position
Yeah.
and say the meeting starts? Yeah.
Right, the
That
100
was like-
plus people that was
Then
there.
it was
when
adopted
that
by the
happened, that
board.
was only the 5 of us in here. The people made a call. Yes,
So
something needs to
I'm
happen.
not
Let
okay
me
with
finish.
that.
Please let me finish.
You're right.
The people made a call, something needs to happen. We stood up and we're trying to make something happen. We were in this small group, it was like the 4 or 5 of us, and we chose who's going to do what. At that point, something was made. These people are going to do this. And there is a missing. You were committed to do a community outreach and make the Facebook page, but you weren't committed to make a board position to vote, and I think you should. I think you should have that position. That would mean there's 4 of us that can now vote, how do we change this meeting?
That's hogwash.
Only this meeting. Because
The
we're the
minutes.
4 people that really show up and are running this meeting.
It's everything in these groups is about.
When
the-
everybody shows up, they can
Let's-
make an invoice and we can make a
No,
vote
that's
on
not how it
changing
was.
topics.
The rules are changing as the meetings are going. This was never this way.
We-
I am not okay saying the community's vote
George,
doesn't matter.
we voted on.
community
That's the
vote
whole-
does
Nobody's
matter.
saying that. Nobody's saying that except you. Robert's rules was already voted as the authority. That means that only the officers who are duly elected can cast votes.
Oh, I
Votes
see
like
how
what?
the
Can we
power- I see
explain
how
this?
the
Because
power's
everybody
divided.
can say
Because
something.
decision making has to be made by somebody. If you're going to
The
have a vote with
people,
everybody,
The people.
Yeah, but then somebody has to say, okay, I will take that vote from the people.
and
Who
then go
is
do
that?
it. Who counts it? How does the process
That's all
work?
that means,
Who's
George. It's
eligible?
not
to
like
vote?
everybody's in a power
1,
struggle
2, 3, 4.
This is
And
the
what
most
if
people we've had in a
what
long
if
time.
what if somebody comes from Hilo or from HPP and wants to
Well,
show up and vote?
then
Can
what
they vote?
happens if somebody on? they're not part of the community, Austin. This is part
How
of the
would
whole
you know?
conversation.
How would you know?
This is why I actually think that we need to extend the vote to our resident community so that people who are in can digitally
And
vote
we
on
do, we
this
take
stuff.
votes about
So
where
I
the
am
meeting's
not
gonna
okay
go
with the
and where's the
implementation of
loopholes.
any rules that's going to eliminate the voice of the people.
You're not
Well,
That
then,
was what I
if you
was
think
voted
that's
to
what
be.
these rules are doing, it's because you are
Exactly what they're
ignorant
doing.
of what you're
Well,
talking
great,
about.
call me ignorant.
I
Okay,
will.
please, point of order. We would like to I would like to make a motion to table this. So we're not making any rule changes.
No,
but
actually-
we have a lot of other
Actually,
things to
the
discuss.
point is not well taken. I will move us along because we are out of order on discussion.
I think we
I
need
will
to
move
vote.
us to a vote, okay? All those in favor of adopting the Parliamentary Authority affirmation and bylaws presented by email, please say aye.
That's
Or sir.
right. It's something that the board follows, and we can just follow the same
Just
style.
say aye, raise your hand.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries unanimously. There are 3 people that have been elected to this board properly that are
See,
evidenced
this
in
is
the
all
minutes.
No, this is why.
Now I'm going to move us along.
Okay.
So you're the only 3.
No.
Talk about power grab.
We listened to
Talk
you.
about power
We
grab.
listened-
This is
We
ridiculous.
listened to you, and we gave you 45 minutes to attack other members, and did not
Attack
call
other
you to
members.
order
That
last
is
time.
hogwash.
This time, we
Look,
need to have some rules.
This is exactly what the community hates.
You don't do
This
You're
is
yelling,
exactly what
you're
the
being
community
combative,
hates.
and you're
Is
not
your
having
guys'
a meeting.
power grab and control.
And
Please
by the
come
way,
to
the
order.
argument has then now pushed people out.
Please come
People
to
are
order.
leaving because you guys or just
Please.
keep arguing.
Come to order.
No,
There-
I
people are
feel
Please come to order.
I feel like there's an attempt to
We
dismantle
had
this meeting. What do you guys
tension
want to
The-
for
do?
the last
You're
6,
right.
8
The members will please
No, and
come
we
to
need-
order.
That's why this whole topic
The
came
mem-
up because of
The
how
members
bad
will
we
please
are.
come to order. The
This
members,
is not the goal of the meeting, is to argue about what we're going to do. If you guys have a suggestion, what is it? If
The
there's a hybrid,
members-
I move to
No
a hybrid.
on the rules.
The
You guys are
members-
silencing the community.
the
No.
members will
You don't need
please
to yell,
come to
man.
order. The
You're the only
reason
person
I do.
yelling here.
the members will please come to order. The reason we have rules is to stop people from screaming at each other and from screaming over really stupid stuff. It's just order. We're going to take feedback, but as far as how the group operates, that is our responsibility to make sure that we keep the rules. We're going to do that, and I'm sorry if that upsets people.
And it can always be changed. I make a motion to
Oh,
either
it can
vote
always
on
be
the-
changed by you three?
Look,
Vote.
am I
Oh,
yelling at
you
you?
3 are the
Am I
only ones that
yelling
can
at
vote.
you?
It can
Am I
always
You
yelling
change.
at
literally
you?
just said we
Holy
wanted
crap.
to
You
bring
guys are delusional.
Even if we counted your votes, the vote would have lost anyway because you and Misty are the only 2 that could even remotely claim to have prior board anything, and it would be 3-2, and this would have passed.
Roy?
Roy, you are recognized.
I've
No.
been here since the get-go of this thing, but I'm not recognized as a voting member either.
That's
You
correct.
didn't put yourself up to be a part of the board. You didn't volunteer.
Okay, the thing about it is, this committee was created by me, so that you guys can get the voice of the people and report to me, but you guys going above my head and going right to the board. Yes or no?
Actually,
Yes.
I don't agree.
Yes or no?
I don't agree.
I think it's really simple. When political questions like these come up and you've got $84,000 on the table and you start asking about it and then people start coming out to try to disrupt the meeting and claiming that the
I was
rules
here
are
from the get-go.
unfair.
I was here from the get-go. I was the one who created this.
It doesn't
committee.
matter. This community doesn't belong to you and it doesn't belong to
I
me.
never said that the community belonged to me.
The
All I
community
said-
belongs to all of
All I
us.
said is
No,
that
it belongs
this
to the 3 of
committee,
you.
this committee was created.
Bro, we're not the
Hold on,
board
okay,
of
hold on.
directors.
Please.
We're not FACA.
Point of
We are-
order.
we are-
Please, point of order. Please quiet. I make a motion to move to the financial transparency. Is anybody interested here to talk about financial transparency?
Orders of the day.
No.
Yes, you're calling for orders of the day, and your point is well taken. We can move forward as far as video archiving, resident verification, and emergency network. These updates are here on the agenda. Is there any motion or issue with these things?
I make a motion to hear from George about how he's working for resident verification.
I'm not going to do any verification when I don't trust you 2. I don't trust you guys.
You're not really being
the
very
feeling's, like,
workable with us.
probably equal.
No,
George,
I am. Listen, when you ask me a question, do you want me to finish? Do I have the floor, or are you going to interrupt me?
It's probably respecting each other, trying to respect each other. I respect
Yeah,
you,
because we
please have
don't
the
need
floor.
rules. We just need some respect.
Which means not yelling at each other, right? So please stop yelling at me.
Okay, I'm not yelling, by the
You
way,
are.
Ben. I have a strong voice.
I think
am
it's
not
yelling.
yelling. If I yelled, you could hear me from a mile away. Believe me, I'm not yelling.
Please try to talk in a friendly, respectful way.
It's alright, just let him say what he wants to say. He's fine.
So, you guys are stripping the authority of the voice of the people through your rules.
You have an entitlement to decide what this committee does? Or did you have to get
The
voted on?
community is,
Did you?
no, okay, so back to address exactly what you said. You asked me for my progress. Well, I can tell you that somebody that's gonna go back 8 months into my private conversation within this group, cherry pick one statement, bring it out in public to try to smear me, I do not trust you with anybody's information. And anybody that's gonna sidestep that and bully in order to keep that silent, I don't trust them either.
Well, you didn't, I don't even know what you're talking
So
about.
I'm
now.
not going to verify anybody and relay the information to you guys because I don't trust you.
Okay.
Are you not holding a position? Do you want to pass a position on to somebody else?
According to you guys, we don't have a position anyway.
No, you do. You're,
So what
you're,
would you like to happen?
hold on.
What would you like to happen?
Can we just take the hostility down a little bit? I think you're assuming a lot of things that are not fair about our motives that make it impossible for us to even have a conversation.
No, the three of you have seized power. That's exactly what's taken place.
That's what you guys tried to do.
No, it's not.
And we caught you.
No.
And we
With
stopped-
what? I don't want power,
Stop
Austin. I don't
yelling,
give a
please
shit
stop
about
yelling.
power. You have stripped power and you've destroyed this group. You've pushed everybody out
How?
except for what Benjamin's agenda is.
You tried to get me to come back saying he needed my leadership because he was destroying the group.
Yes, he is destroying the group.
Wow.
Okay, point of order. So we have no resident verification progress. Are we moving on to emergency
And
network?
now you guys have power grabbed.
We're
and
trying to
only
move the
three
meeting
of you-
along.
No, you
There's
can't.
more
So do I have
things
the
to talk
floor?
about. There's
George,
more things
George,
to talk about.
George, we give
Okay.
George the floor. Let him say his piece. George, when you're
No,
done,
I'm
just
done. My vote doesn't matter anyway, so why come, why participate,
George,
why
it's
do
fair.
anything?
We're obviously not following Robert's Rules of Order. You've made that
We
possible.
are, because you're going by them. You shut me down last week, and you said only the three of your votes mattered.
How did I shut you down?
Because of Robert's
How
rules,
did I shut you
who
down?
nobody remembers invoking or voting on.
I don't remember shutting
It's
you
in the
down.
meeting minutes, man.
I
If
remember
you have a
asking
better
you,
suggestion, please bring
asking
it.
you not to attack other members is reasonable.
Because of rules. No, if Benjamin, a leader of the group, is going to act immorally,
Yes, you bring emotion. That's
no,
all I was saying.
no,
I was saying you bring
confront
emotion.
him and you say this kind of behavior is not okay for a committee member.
So you
Okay,
want
George,
shut
you've
them
already
down
punished
through
me,
rules.
George.
You're
You've already
screaming-
punished me
Hey
You're
for a
guys,
month.
please.
Yeah, this is
I
ridiculous.
cannot. I'm not even able to take notes right now. I have been taking notes from this meeting since we started in October of 2024. I have shared the notes with you. I've shared the notes with everyone that's been joining these meetings. The whole point of this freaking group is to better communicate, and we
The
can't even
rules-
communicate with
you're
each
right.
other
The
because you
rules are
keep
destroying it.
crossing. No, it's not
I know.
rules.
Yeah.
The rules are a reaction to some of the reactive and negative.
The
and-
reaction
and
to
rude
personal
things
attacks.
that
You're
are-
personally
Of what?
attacking members, so we need rules to make
Are
sure.
you
So we're gonna move
kidding
on.
me?
We're gonna
Yes.
move on. Emergency network. Does anybody have any progress for making our fire awareness progress?
Oh man.
Okay, hearing none.
Yes. Oh,
Sorry.
I'll give an update.
Go
I'm
ahead.
just taking a breath because this is I'm right in the middle.
We can take a recess. If you guys want to take a 5-minute recess, that's fine too. Or we can keep going.
I just feel like we're not being productive, and last meeting was not productive because we just can't agree to disagree maybe on some of the procedures. So let's just let's stick to the freaking agenda, which I did print out. If anybody wants to take a look at it, for anyone who wants to participate in making our community better, that's the whole reason that we're here, and improving communications.
And not
Because there's a
surveilling the
huge
meeting. So
lack-
please,
Yeah, there's a
just
huge
right
lack.
on to fire awareness, emergency networking.
Okay. Well, I am part of CERT, and so I created, through what was approved by the board, an emergency contact form so that we know and can identify the most vulnerable people in our community and make sure we have a communication network during an emergency, during a fire, which we know will happen again, and that we have a plan in place. Sorry, I'm very charged. I'm trying to
It's all right.
take a breath.
Yeah.
And so I definitely agree that we have to have a plan, an emergency plan, and that is slow progress, but there is progress, and there's CERT teams working hard on having a plan in place, and communication is number one in an emergency. We all know that. And so the better we can improve our communication, whether it be via text, whether it be via email, whether it be via Facebook, and this other resident that was here walked out and really is using our sign, which unfortunately looks like somebody may have torn off all the information off of it just today, which is so sad, So we have to utilize every single channel of communication that we can to let people know what the plan is once we have a plan in place, and having key members in our community to share that, especially people who know a lot of people and can share that information. So that's what's going on right now. There was forms put in the food basket on the 18th of last month. I think we should do it again this month. There are forms in the office that people can fill out. There's an online form I posted on Facebook. I'm trying to help get a good list of our residents together so that we can communicate better, especially about emergency information. And that's the update.
Ben, you're recognized.
Thank you, Laila. Is there anyone who's willing to post to our sign about this information? Anybody from the community want to step up and write a sign and post it on our sign out there?
Okay.
Thank you, Julia.
Thank you.
Would we agree on what that sign should say? Do we want to do it about the fire and everything else, or just about the fire and contacts?
I've thought about it a lot, and like having meeting times, which somebody did post, and I guess having a nice large sign of when the road meeting is, when the board meeting is, when this meeting is. I mean, I designed one before it and just need to get it printed, a bigger poster and laminated or something. So I'd be willing to go. I can share the design that I had with you last time we were talking about it, and we can edit it. I'm very open, but letting people know when these meetings are, it would be really, I think, a good starting point.
And maybe we can add our QR code back to that. Does anybody else from the community have any input on what the sign should say?
Hearing
No,
none, we
okay.
can work it out over email if there's any further questions. All right, moving on to the big item. This is an important one. The $84,000 question, financial transparency. Report on the formal inquiry to the faculty board regarding the road cost discrepancy identified in December. For those of you who do not know, there is a cost discrepancy that's been identified in the accounting for which we're unable to secure good answers. When asking the treasurer during the audit process, the treasurer told us that they don't have access or the ability to inspect those records, which is extremely alarming. So that is one of the big things on the agenda today, and really the only thing that heralded any kind of drama from this group was asking about the money. Benjamin, would you like to speak to this item?
So Roy had produced some financial transcripts for us to look at, and on January and February we noticed a large math error, and we asked for clarification on that. So we're still waiting for that clarification. We've had some verbal answers, but I think the people deserve to see an accurate financial statement, and we learned from the last Treasury meeting that Joe doesn't seem to be able to have access to the information to do his job properly, and he seems to not be able to produce a monthly transactional record of how money comes and goes. This is a standard that is held up by a lot of other communities that should be easily available and available to everybody with or without an appointment made. This is all of our money, and it should be easy to see. So if we have any answers available from Roy or from the community about when we'll find answers for those math errors, January and February we're missing $2,000 and $4,000, and we would like to just see some paperwork.
I can produce the paperwork for you right now, but if you look at the amounts there and you subtract all, the discrepancy is the payroll.
Payroll.
So if you minus everything from the total on the bottom, as everybody knows, there's 2 pay periods in every month. So if you minus everything from the total, the amount that's left is twice what the payroll is.
Payroll is a line item, is it not?
Yeah, but the way that the thing got put on the paper might have been an error, the way the thing got done, but.
So we have more than one entry, basically, that includes more than one payroll.
But if the payroll is duplicated based on the amount of hours that they're allowed to work, then the number will stay the same. But the thing only printing 1, which if you double them, the thing will come
Now,
out.
how would we know that those numbers haven't just been double charged?
Because we
They'll never
do.
get double paid.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
Because it's based on the hours that they put in. They're allowed under 20 hours a week.
well, maybe they're not getting it. I'm not saying they're taking the money. I'm saying somebody,
No.
anybody,
It's not.
anybody could be adding that on, unless we have. The treasurer says he can't see that information because it's payroll, right? Which
No,
is
he can see. He just never come in and ask about it.
no. He definitely says he cannot
I
see
tell
it,
you
and he
what
said
it
he
is.
came in and asked, and that
He comes in every month and does.
Well, we're hearing different things, so
Okay, well,
I'm not gonna. I don't want to. I don't know who's right.
So let me finish. So rather than assume things, let the process happen and let the clarification come out. But the thing about it is like, you guys ask some question today, you guys like the answer tomorrow. And because you guys don't get the answer tomorrow, you guys jumping on, or they're hiding something, or they're doing something that's shady. Oh, I got an $84,000 discrepancy.
This
on the
this
spreadsheet.
wasn't
Let
just
me
a question.
finish.
It was an audit committee.
Let me finish. Okay. Right now the subject is about the $84,000 discrepancy. There is no discrepancy. It just hasn't been put on the spreadsheet in the right way, which we're working on that spreadsheet so that we can let everybody see them with the mailing that everybody will get.
That's what a discrepancy is. Ben.
And so this has actually been asked for since you've actually been part of it and before you even started. There's been 2 years before you got here a blackout period where it's just not even allowed to be looked at, and the audit happened before all that, which after enough discussion you finally get to look at, and I've been the only person that has been able to look at that, and it's just not clear on a regular basis, which would be regularly clear on any business ledger.
Okay, every board meeting there's
But I didn't finish. I will let you finish. The thing is it's not something that has been asked today. It's been asked for several years. So it seems that it's just not easy to be produced. So that seems to be an area that needs improvement. And so I don't think it's fair you get to say we get to ask if we want it now or tomorrow. We've been asking for several years. So I hope you realize that.
I know what you guys asked it, and it's been 4 years, but still, till today, we find discrepancies in the financials in the office. So I ask you guys to trust the process until we can get.
But
there.
we don't trust the process.
I get it.
This is really important.
But the
Part
thing
of
about
that.
Let him finish, please.
But the thing about it is, if you're rolling over $130,000 from last year, rolling into this year, you know what I mean? If you guys trust the process and let it come out the way, because we still finding things till today, we finding things. And we cannot tell you guys, okay, this is what it is or whatever. But we can produce this paper, but the paper don't mean nothing because you guys not going to believe nothing because you guys think that it's something that could just be created for the sake of being created.
Right, and that's where daily transcripts come in, and that's a standard that most other communities produce. And
The only
one
papers-
example is Mauna Loa Estates, and anybody can look it up whether they're a member or not. And so that's a standard of well, you keep saying you're an open book, that is an example of an open book. So you are not an open book. And you're taking this personally because you're taking so much ownership of it, and it needs to be the board who has a standard to set of how our finances are displayed to the people.
Okay, so I look into what you're talking about. Every community around us, through us, all on this east side of Hawaii, they produce a statement of profit and loss. That's basically what it is.
They're non-profits, so no, they don't.
Who is nonprofit?
FACA?
Every community, if you look online, they show their statement of profit and loss.
which isn't a daily ledger. It isn't an account of
Okay,
records.
so no community ever produces.
Yes, they do.
a
Montalova
daily
Estates
ledger.
produces that, and I can show that to you right now.
You can show
because
me
they've
3 days in
opened
a
it.
row?
I can show you years
You can
because
show
they
me
post
3
it.
days
Keep
in a
it.
row?
Yes, sir.
Let's keep
Yes,
it,
sir, I can.
Let's keep it nice and calm. I do think that there are abundant evidence of it. First of all, it's just best practices for entities such as these to keep open ledgers, right? Because there should be no secrets with the finances. Just there's no need for any secrecy there, right? Payroll data it should be auditable by board members and by the audit committee, and the bylaws
Not by the
specify.
audit committee, because the
Yeah.
audit committee is me.
The bylaws say so. The bylaws specifically say that the
Not
audit
from Mr.
committee.
Ma.
Yes, for Mr. Mall. Yes, absolutely. In fact, it's mainly about Mr. Mall. That audit committee was not given the access that it needed. So that would be one thing. So why don't we do this? And this would be my suggestion. I would entertain a motion to direct a letter to the board asking for clarification on these issues. We can workshop the language on that a little bit over time if necessary, but I think the right course would be to direct a formal inquiry asking them to resolve this discrepancy, and then that will get to the bottom of it.
And we've already made a motion for that, and it just hasn't had an opportunity to be presented at a board meeting yet.
We made a motion to ask about the discrepancy itself, but I think that since we've had this stuff develop with the treasurer and with the payroll data, yeah, I'd like to go ahead and expand our inquiry slightly and to also renew it. So we'll write that and get that to the board if there's a motion and a second for it.
I make a motion to write a letter to the board about the transparency, and I will say Joe was going to bring to the board about having this monthly overview, which is a good step forward. It doesn't. A lot of people don't trust right now. There's a lack of trust, and so we have to build that trust.
Lack of trust been for years.
Yeah,
Decades.
I've heard it from so many people.
And we being in the office as a new management have tried to gain that trust back, which we have, because people who did owe money ended up paying based on some of the information that they get from us based on their accounts or their overdue balances or something.
Ben?
I would like to hear from the community if this, like Roy just said, this is a trust thing. Does anybody else have any information that wants to find this out? Does anybody care about this financial topic?
Most of the people here showed up because they were told that we were being bad. I don't think they showed up.
I mean,
because
we're
they
only
had any
supposed to be
idea what
acting
we were
on the
actually doing.
people's interest.
Now you guys assuming white people here.
Oh, because we know.
I'm not assuming
Yeah, but
anything.
they're not here.
I don't think
because
that's
you guys
true.
bad.
I don't agree with that.
Not all of them, obviously, but like, goodness.
So we gotta watch what we say, because now you're online talking crap to everybody.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm not afraid. I like to
I
tell
mean,
it like it is.
That's not talking crap, it's making an assumption.
There's $84,000 on the table, and the
Bad
only time.
assumption.
Yeah, but assumptions.
Okay, I'll try not to assume the obvious. All right, guys. So we have a motion and a second.
Not
Further
necessarily.
discussion. Let's keep the discussion on track.
Okay.
We are talking about directing a letter to the board about the $84,000 discrepancy and other discrepancies, and asking them to resolve that to accounting standards.
But wouldn't that come from the audit committee and not the resident committee?
The audit committee can absolutely do that and should do that, and they will do that. But
All that committee not gonna do Mr. Mom.
No, that's
Oh,
not
they
part
will.
of it. So there's a couple of different things which I've really been trying my best to keep everybody up to date, at least on the Facebook group, with board meeting notes and the notes from this meeting. The board was thinking about opening up auditing of Mr. Ma, which can only be audited by an outside party. And if nobody knows what Mr. Ma is, it's the mandatory road maintenance agreement. It's an agreement, actually. That's what's in the bylaws. I've had to relook it up a few
And then
times.
please note that it only happens every 5 years.
Yes, for the previous 4. By an outside source that is paid for. The audit
Only 1 year
committee,
at a time.
yeah, 1 year at a time, thank you. The FACA, which is the Fern Acres Community Association, which
And
is a
only
501c4, we were supposed to look, I was on the audit committee, we were supposed to look at 3 months of those finances specifically. Now, the whole budget of our Fern Acres community is partially the 90% Mr. Ma and 10% FACA, which is the voluntary $35 fee you can pay to utilize this space and some of the other features of this community space, and also vote on board members. So it's a lot of complicated information. I've just come to understand it over this last year, almost over a year now, to kind of understand that process. There's a lot of mixing of borrowing of money and back and forth. And so when we're looking at just the FACA financial information, we're not seeing a full picture of how our money is being spent, and that's not what's included. There's no detailed information right now, especially after previous negligence. Not, that's for sure. We all agree on there was a few years of some serious black ages, is what the board calls it, or dark ages.
Decades of it happening.
So there's a lot of comeuppance, I would say, and so I think the board wants people to trust them, if they're really doing right by the community, and so having more transparency with their finances, which Benjamin's right, we both looked at it. I sent it to Claudia, I just texted it to you, Roy. Is the Mauna Loa Estates has by year their financial tracking. They have the ledger, they have their treasurer's reports, they have minutes all up on their website. They also have email that you can update to pay your road fees, and people can update their financial and mailing address on the website, which is, we're in 2026 now. We need to probably get our website better so that people can, it's great that we can pay road fees. I don't know if everybody knows that. You can actually pay your road fees on the website right now, but there's not good tracking to communicate with people and all of that. So the audit meeting was very, really intense and did not show me anything really. I've never done an audit before, to full transparency, but there was the information that was provided to me did not tell me jack shit, to be very frank.
Yeah, that was I will say, my read of the bylaws, correct me if I'm mistaken, but there's nothing saying Mr. Ma has to be separate from the audit committee, only that it also has to have an independent audit. So that's in addition to the audit committee requirement internally. There's also a requirement for an external audit every 5 years, right? So I believe Laila is correct on that. Roy, did you have something you want to add? I'm going to move this along here.
Well, not all the information was posted on everything that was in those packets. So there was also financial statements that was there for the months that were chosen. Those months that were chosen by the audit committee, not by the board, not by the audit chairman, not by the office. It was chosen by the audit committee.
So I was the one that chose them because I'm on the audit committee? I didn't decide on choosing it.
You wasn't there at the audit meeting that was scheduled.
No, she was.
I was.
She was.
No, I was.
We were specifically told we cannot have anything but FACA and 2 months. We get to choose what 2 months?
It was 3
That's
months.
or 3 months.
It was 3 months, but
we don't
you
get to
guys
choose
got
them.
Nope.
So that's all we got to choose is what
You
3
wasn't
months.
even there, so
I was
you
there.
can't tell me.
I recorded the whole thing.
You was at the audit meeting?
I recorded the whole thing.
He was. They both showed up to the audit meeting.
So I have your treasurer
so
on the
they-
recording
so the
saying,
So the day of that audit, right?
Yeah.
You guys was there, yeah.
yeah,
But you guys not supposed to be part of that audit.
I signed the NDA. I signed
did.
the NDA.
But you wasn't at the meeting prior to that to volunteer to be part of that audit committee.
I was requested to assist the audit committee.
By
The audit committee.
audit committee chair?
And
Yes.
What makes it have to be such a controlled amount of people? Why am I not available? Why isn't anybody here available to look at all
Actually,
of our transactions?
that's because the bylaws specify how the audit committee is supposed to operate. That part is exactly what they're supposed to do. There's supposed to be, I think, at least 2 people, non-board members that are supposed to be.
Yeah, it was Patty Goodwin and I were the resident people, and then Christy was supposed to be there, and Joe, and Christy never showed, and there was, I didn't really understand what I was looking at, to be very honest. There was a little bit of an overview of what I was supposed to see, but
It wasn't an audit.
it didn't actually happen because it was a very intense discussion because we are not seeing enough to get the whole picture. You can't get the whole picture from what you are shown.
Right, when the treasurer can't see payroll, that's a
The treasurer can't see
that's a
payroll.
bloody red flag. He spent a lot of time telling us otherwise. And again, that's on a recorded meeting, so.
He said that he did not have access to records, is what Joe said at the meeting.
Yep. So that's what we're gonna ask about, and I think we've covered the discussion on this. I'm gonna call it to a vote. All those in favor of sending the letter to inquire with the board about the $84,000 question and the new matters that have arisen since our last discussion on this matter, please say aye. Raise your hand.
I would definitely want to broaden that just to general transparency. I mean, we can wordsmith, but I agree that we should formulate either a letter and or a statement at the next board meeting.
Should I interpret that as a yes?
Yes, aye.
All right, absolutely, cool. I'll vote yes, and we are unanimous. All right, moving forward, Financial Transparency Audit Committee update, we will call that. Do you want to, you need to do a report on that. Do you want to give a report, or did we already cover it?
We kind of just covered it. So it was on December 12th, and we were supposed to look at the FACA operational funds for 3 months, and what was shown to me does not give me any type of picture of what we're actually doing, and it wasn't explained well either, and the meeting didn't really happen because we didn't have a board member show up. So I think it's something that should be rescheduled since it is in the bylaws of the Fern Acres board that we're supposed to do that. So
there's an audit committee report that'll have to be written, and the audit committee can write a report describing how the audit went in detail. The board probably would not want that to be the case, so it'd be better to meet again.
okay, that's good to know.
All right, cool. Is there anything further from the audit committee update that you'd like to add?
No, that's it.
All right, cool. We're moving on to the next item, road maintenance and safety. Road condition survey, finalizing the resident feedback for priority areas. We will be paving, and we're looking for resident community feedback on where the priority is on where that paving should go. So if you guys have any issues on your streets, if there are things that we need to know about or that the road crew needs to know about, this is a good opportunity to let us know so we can pass those along and make that known in the community. So I'm going to open up the floor if anybody wants.
We did create an online form. Only 6 people have filled it out, but there's, if we share that with people or are able to, like, what I think Roy needs the most help with, and correct me if I'm wrong, Roy, is collecting that data and then so you have a clear picture of where those spots are.
Yeah,
And
like 10 poles increments kind of deal.
yep, that's something, and we're not just talking about the potholes one-off that the road crew fixes pretty quickly. You guys are on it, and the roads are mostly great, but we definitely want to
road crew.
Yeah, really.
Thank you, road crew.
Good job. I know you guys literally risk your lives out there on the road with some of our speeders and things. So I will repost again the form online, but there has to be another way that we can get that out to people. I don't know if anyone has ideas.
I was going to suggest that with our new verification processes that we can hit a couple birds with one stone and do like sign up for cert, ask them where the road needs the most work, and just have a little Google form thing that we send people, and then we can pester them to fill that out. And that might be a really good way to get feedback.
Okay. Yeah, I have a form for road conditions and then just for the resident information.
Nice. Roy.
So in the past, I asked the committee members to drive all the roads. Because what we getting is a biased information based on the road that you live on. That's why I asked, can the committee drive all of our roads so that they can make a general assumption or a general idea of the worst parts of our roads, period. Not just, I live on Lehua Street, so all I care about is Lehua Street. But what about the rest of the roads? Because I live on Hibiscus Street, and I'm not picking Hibiscus Street because I live on that street, which is what the assumption was when we did do paving on Hibiscus Street. anybody who can drive every road and then drive down Hibiscus Street, if they cannot say that Hibiscus Street is the worst street in all of our subdivision, then I will step down as a road chairman because of it. You know what I mean? Because
You're right.
it is what it is.
It's true.
It is what it is.
George, you are recognized.
I was trying to say something about last meeting and was told to fill out paperwork. So I don't know.
I have a comment.
A lot of people, I don't disagree with Laila's push for being a digital world and wanting to do everything digitally, especially with
As much as we
FACA
can.
and all of that, because when you hold responsibilities, you have a responsibility to learn and do that kind of stuff. But your average person, I think, I shouldn't say your average person, the largest percentage of people in our community will not be pushed into a digital world, and they're going to dig their heels in the more you try to push them in that direction. We have to be able to touch those people. The whole point of my position was to ensure that the voice of the people were heard and their votes were counted.
That's part of what we were just discussing, was putting a form out that would allow us to be able to get all that feedback, and then when we go through and verify people for the group, like we can actually make contact with them over the phone or in person.
Right, but the information has to be what Roy's looking for, and I think that's been the main breakdown for
Yeah.
the entire year.
We can get that from them, and that just gives us a cool way to hit more than one bird with the same stone.
Well, and just to clarify, since you agree with me, which I appreciate, it's not only digital. It's via email. We can set. It's not just Facebook. We posted the form on Facebook. We need to share it via email. We need to put it on the sign up front. There needs to be multiple avenues.
Yeah, but
for
I'm just
anything
saying,
that
we
we're doing.
can't limit people's saying from this poll to this poll or this poll to this poll just because there's a paper on a website somewhere to fill out.
I don't
That's all I'm
understand.
saying.
I don't really understand what you're saying. I'm sorry.
Okay.
That's what we're trying to find the worst spots. So, and Roy is specifically asking for poll numbers. Something that's a
The
feedback
worst
online.
10 spots per road.
Well, in
10 polls.
Yeah.
10 stretch, a whole stretch of 10 polls, and something that somebody said online to speak to some of our online viewers is they can't read poll numbers. That's something that's come up over and over again, not only for reporting road conditions, but for emergency response. Is people can't see poll numbers, you're having to basically come to a full stop to read a poll number. That's a really big problem. And I know Helco, we're not allowed to technically mess with the polls, but we should be calling them on the phone and telling them, we want to spray paint numbers up there. There's a few people that have done it themselves, and you can actually see poll numbers. And that really helps people not only report bad parts of the road, but find places, and especially in emergency response. Most people use poll numbers to find places here. We know that. So, just wanted to bring that up. But it's definitely, I know I'm in the digital era personally at my age, but I know that that's not going to work for everybody here. So I'm willing and want us to utilize all of our avenues of communication we can.
Okay, we'll try to get that survey out to as many people
Roy,
as we
what do
can.
you have? Sorry.
Yeah, Roy, go ahead.
Well, that's what I asked at that last board meeting when we were discussing the road fee increase, that if somebody can step up and say they will take the community page on, not the community Facebook page, but the community page, then that would help us out a lot. But till then, nobody can step up and say, yeah, I'll come and help.
The website?
Yeah, the website.
Oh, okay.
That is
I was
probably something that I could help with, or I could find somebody.
That is actually something I have said I would be
Yeah.
willing to do, and have talked to Claudia, and she was the one that let me know that the meetings haven't been up on the website because she can't have access to the website right now, and so that the website absolutely needs to be updated.
Yeah,
I think they fixed that though. I think she got access recently because I saw some new stuff posted. So
Great.
hopefully
I
that
will be in touch with her. We have a certain meeting on Saturday, so I'll
Cool.
ask her about it.
excellent.
And that's something else that's next on the agenda. So I know we're coming up or after 8 already, so I just want to respect everyone's time and evening. is I did ask her about an invasive species, about the Himalayan raspberry eradication class that's coming up. She hasn't given me a date yet, but I'm going to put that up on Facebook as goes. Yeah, so many people, so many people have responded positively. Like, that's the kind of things I would love to see more of here in this community.
Can't stand those raspberries.
I would like to say I really appreciate you and all of the work that you do with
Thank you, George.
communicating that online.
Thank
And
you. Yeah, I tried.
I don't resonate with the community member here, but I think there needs to be room for us to be humble enough to say, you're right, we could do better. We need to do
Absolutely.
better. And we
Oh,
have
yeah.
failed on the sign, and that's a fact.
Absolutely.
Instead of arguing against people, we can just say, yep, you're right, we have failed, especially with the sign.
Yes. Well, we did have our sign guy unfortunately back out, which is, understandable.
Well, yeah,
and also
like
costs money.
said,
Signs
we're all
may cost money.
volunteers.
Yeah. Unless you're gonna make one, but I don't know if it'll be rainproof. We do have to make more signs because everyone sees that board driving in.
Technically, we're doing a service. Whenever we put up a sign, it should be the board putting up and authorizing and paying for signs, not us. The fact that we're doing that is an extra mile thing, so.
And maybe that's something we can bring up at the board meeting is, we need to utilize the front sign more. They're the ones that have said only official board business can go up on that board. They've said
Right,
that
exactly,
at board
and
meetings.
that's the whole problem. It's not that we haven't kept up with it, but that we're dealing with some people who are on the board that don't like our group and don't like what we're doing. So,
I can see why.
Yeah.
well, I know it's not because we're not given enough opportunity to talk. It's probably more about the $84,000 discrepancy.
You're making another assumption.
It's a fair one.
But you're making an assumption.
It's a correct one.
So I think that I want to move that this whole voting thing has to change. In the whole year that we've been involved with this is the first time I've heard this.
Well, I mean,
And all these
we have these
people out
minutes.
here, this is their group, whether you like it or not. That's what we're supposed to be here for. To encourage these people to come to these meetings more.
Yeah, we want them to come,
And
definitely.
if they can't vote for anything, if they can't help make a change, what difference is it gonna make?
Have you noticed that even though, and I've noticed.
Personally, but I know.
Are we done?
Nope. I don't know what's going on.
Technical problems.
Oh, it's connected to my computer.
So
There we go.
we have minutes here that keep track of everything that was decided at our meetings, right? And every meeting we go through and we review these, right?
It doesn't.
And just hear me out. Hear me out. This is the record of what happened. So when I'm looking at like, hey, we need to adopt bylaws, that's a really important decision, right? And so I go and ask, who's eligible to vote on that? Which is a good question that I have to ask. And when I go and look at these minutes and it says that you both specifically said you didn't want to be like in charge with the vote, but you did want to help out, I can't go back and change history and change what you yourself said.
We
What?
voted on other meetings
What
though.
are you
after
talking
that's what I'm
about?
saying.
Because
This is the first I've heard about this.
It's because I welcome.
There's other people
it's-
that have been here that have voted that aren't here tonight.
It's because we welcome the community's input. That does not mean that it's mob rule and anybody can come in from HPP and just vote. Right? We'll listen to anybody and we definitely value.
Let's move on, please, from the procedural conversation.
Well, I motion that it needs to be. It can't be.
We're at the end of the
What's
agenda.
gonna happen if it's just you three?
We're
from
gonna.
now on?
I don't want that,
I don't
Well,
want
that's
that
what's gonna
either.
happen. You're ruining the group.
You're making assumptions.
No, I would like to say, which is the same thing I said last week.
Oh boy. Let's
Or
calm
last
down.
month.
So
Let's
listen,
calm down,
listen,
please,
really
please.
quickly.
I can't.
We have a very simple thing, and we can adjourn. By the way, you guys can motion to adjourn at any point. But I'm happy to talk to you guys. So number one is I want to make sure that everybody can come in and speak and be heard. That's fair. That's reasonable, and that's what we've always done.
Yeah.
The problem today is not because anybody isn't being heard. It's because there's a personality conflict between these two, and this guy didn't get his way. And I'm sorry, George. I'm not trying to be a jerk to you, but
You are.
you can't.
You are.
You
It's not a
spoke.
personality conflict when you take a specific phrase to smear somebody. It is character.
And how did you treat him?
With what?
You
Because I called him out for constantly accusing him of stealing?
There's $84,000 on the
It
table
doesn't.
missing.
That wasn't the conversation for the last 6 months, Austin. When
You're
you haven't
yelling-
been here
you're
for
yelling
80
at me right now.
Wait, I want the floor and I want to say what I wanted to say.
Then do so respectfully.
80% of the people that I have, I have a, I want to say audit, but it's not an audit. A questionnaire, and every community member that I've come in contact with, I have a series of questions that I ask them. 80% of the people say this kind of bullshit is why they won't have anything with any of these meetings.
The drama.
Why they won't, yes.
Like
the
you're screaming at us right now.
The political drama where one person thinks they're more important than another and gets the silence and shut everybody up.
That's not what's happening.
This is exactly what's happening.
It's
This
not.
is why the lady walked out.
No.
I've heard this from 80% of the people.
You're in an
And
echo chamber.
Can I please have the floor?
We're
I
adjourned.
wouldn't have to we're adjourned.
You're just yelling,
so much for
George.
letting everybody's
We
voice
shouldn't
be
be
heard.
bullied by you, man. Please talk nicely.
You can talk, man. I'm listening to you, but you're not making an effort to actually communicate. You're just yelling at me.
Oh man. Well,
Okay, Roy?
go ahead, Ray.
Okay. I think the problem is that everybody's not included, you know, with voting.
Don't
Just
BS
let him
us,
finish.
please.
Just let him finish.
It's ridiculous.
That's
How do you suggest? Hold on. How do we do it? How do we do it? How do we include
We
everybody?
didn't talk about cleaning up the neighborhood either. That's what our freaking committee is supposed to be for.
We did.
Ruin the group.
We talked about that.
Come
Now
on,
the
man.
question is, other than y'all's drama, what is it exactly that we're not doing?
All drama.
Roy
Yeah.
got interrupted.
How would we include everybody in the community on a vote for the rules of a group that they're not
Well,
sitting in
let's-
charge of?
It's not about rules, it's just being able to vote here at the meeting.
It is. It's just about rules. It's just about not yelling at each other and being
Oh,
able to
man.
speak in
Okay,
turn.
let's stop. I did want to talk about the invasive species thing and the neighborhood watches as a cleanup on the end of this month. So let's end this. The road meeting is on January 14th, which is next week Wednesday.
There is a community cleanup on the 31st, by the way.
That's what I just said. Yeah. Oh yeah. Echo that. Echo that. Thank you. Thank you, Misty.
Regular residents.
Okay. Well, thanks for tuning in.